The whole Concord 2 thing is absolutely stupid, and I can prove it. The game isn't a victim of bad art direction, it's a victim of actually the most horrendous marketing slash trailer direction of all time. It literally rivals Transformers 1 levels of bad here. I spent way too much time looking through Highguard's trailer to figure out what the actual gameplay is, because instead of explaining anything about how the game plays, they wasted over half of the trailer's runtime on boring heroes that we don't care about because we've never seen this game before. Said gameplay, by the way, seems to be similar to For Honor's Breach game mode, or maybe more similar to the finals? Regardless, the way the base game is played, this is speculation, by the way, is that both teams have a home base, not dissimilar from a MOBA, and they have to raid something, because they call it a raid shooter. Not sure, because they showed zero gameplay that has anything to do with their quote different kind of shooter, and exclusively just regular kind of shooter gameplay, and pretended it's innovative. I believe that it is. I 100% believe it, because this is made by the guys who originated Titanfall. They basically kickstarted the movement shooter genre. So I speculate that the gameplay is that you raid these yellow beacons that you can see throughout the trailer in the background, and raiding those gets you like points or a resource towards summoning the Shieldbreaker sword, and I'll get on that in a sec. If you or a teammate dies, you drop a red orb that, if captured by the enemy team, might grant them the resource points towards the Shieldbreaker. Once you cross a certain threshold, you can start this Shieldbreaker event, which creates this great tornado in the sky that we see at the end of the trailer, where the sword is summoned on a timer, presumably to make teams fight for it. The team that wins that team fight picks up the Shieldbreaker sword, and then has to siege the enemy base. If they get close enough, the sword carrier slots it into a part of the shield over the enemy base to summon this Shieldbreaker vehicle, which of course takes the shield down. Once the shield's been destroyed, your team must raid the enemy team's base and destroy structures somehow. Maybe by planting explosives, it seems? I wouldn't know, because they took the camera away when the character was destroying the building. And destroying all of their structures probably wins you the game. That seems to be the win condition. Of course, the trailer communicates about none of this unless you needlessly analyze it, and the 8 sentences given to describe the game for like over an hour. Please send help. I mean, the Game Awards as a whole suffers from overly cinematic trailers with zero gameplay footage, and ironically, almost antithetical to my point, Highguard had by far the most gameplay showed of any game trailer at TGA. And the reason the game looks like, quote, Concord 2 to some people is because the gameplay footage has zero HUD, because it's supposed to be cinematic. I'm sure that in the full release there will be enemy outlines and such, which give each character a more defined look to enemies, as currently they seem to blend into the environment in the trailer thanks to their muted colors, because, again, they lack said outline. And that's sort of what the biggest problem with Concord is. Anyway, all of this is just copium because I just love Titanfall and I really want this game to be good. Please, God, please.